You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Hi, if you notice the cheap subtitles in music, I thought Bruno Mars would be awesome for this. Um, Instead of just continuing to hold off and wait until I get a half day to put together an awesome intro outro sequence for this, I needed to just start the video logs, and so that's what I'm jumping into. And as you can see, I'm already messing up, but I'm just going to roll with it. I wanted to talk a little bit about user experience today, because I've been having a lot of experience with it lately. We released our game Electric Flo about a week and a half ago now. Well, week and a few days. And the initial release didn't go exactly the way we had planned. We put it out and nobody could really play it. Everybody had trouble even getting past the first level. And it wasn't because it didn't work, because it does. We play tested it to death. Got my kids to test it, my wife to test it, any family or friends that we could rope into trying this thing could play it, and they played through it and it worked. And then even day up before the release, we made sure that there were no bugs, no errors. But there's a difference between something that works and something that has a good user experience. So even if something is technically functional, if it doesn't work the way someone expects it to, or your audience expects it to, it doesn't actually work. It's functional, it just doesn't work. A good example of this is when I was in college, I was taking an illustration course. And I had an instructor that would talk to me, and when I would show my work, I would have to start explaining. It's like, okay, here's why this illustration means what it means. This is how it works. And he stopped me and he's like, look, if you've got to explain how your illustration works, you failed at your illustration, because it should be self-explanatory. It should just function and work the way your audience expects it to. And it's the same thing with game development. Your games need to work in a way that your audience expects it to. It has to be functional for them. And so we were successful in making a game that worked, it was functional, but it didn't work for our audience. And so we ended up spending the last week redoing a lot of the user interface, redoing the way the player interacts, and also trying to help better explain the mechanics within the game. So we think we've been fairly successful, and we've put out a new release. We also were able to get it up on Amazon, so now it's available on Kindle as well as Google Play. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about, was just a little bit of user experience, but I did want to touch a little bit on feedback, because feedback is extremely important in any kind of media creation and development. So anytime you're going to make something and put it out for your audience, you need to be getting feedback from that audience. You can't work in a bubble, because even though it may work for you, like I said, even with our game, with Electric Flo, I thought it worked for us. I thought it was great, but it didn't meet our customers' expectations. And so it's important to get that feedback, and so we are very, very happy for all the feedback we've received. It's sometimes difficult to take feedback, so let's be realistic about it. The day after we released, and I started getting negative feedback, and we were checking our stats, and no one was getting past the first level, it was disheartening. It was, I had a bad couple days. That's natural. That's part of the process. And so even if you don't like the feedback, even if you're not wanting the feedback necessarily, it's important that you get it anyway. And I got over it. It took me a couple days and some, pouting and being grumpy. But by Monday, we released Saturday morning, but by Monday, I was able to go out in my yard, mow the lawn, and by the time I was done mowing my lawn, I had a new clear design direction because of the feedback, because I was able to internalize that for a couple days and think about it. And so we were able to make some design changes that hopefully in the long run have really helped the product. And so we appreciate all of your feedback. Even if it's not something we may want to hear, it's something we need to hear. And so please continue to send in your feedback. Please give us, your thoughts, what you think of the experience, what you like, what you don't like. And then as we continue forward, we'll keep listening to what you have to say and hopefully make something that everybody can be happy with. The coming few weeks, what we're going to be working on is we're going to be continuing to develop the system. There's a couple more bugs that we're trying to work out, as well as cleaning up some more of the user experience within those first 6 levels. We're also going to be working on the character little icons for the dialogue. Right now there's just one for each character, but I'm going to be continuing work to try and get different ones so that we can have much more expression within the dialogue and the communication between characters. And then we're going to start on the next character in level 6. So we had level 0 through and then 1 through 5. But in level 6, we're going to be introducing a brand new character. So we'll be doing production on that character and getting them into the game, as well as a few new assets for the environment and for basically for functionality and use. And then we'll hopefully be able to release another 10 levels once we get that character and a few more of the assets done. So we're shooting for about 2 to 3 weeks out for that, but we'll still try and post some regular updates as we go. Anyways, thank you very much for all your support, and I really appreciate it. Bye.